Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So, today we're unpacking something literally all of us universally dread, but we honestly rarely take the time to truly understand. We're looking at the surprisingly deep psychology behind our most embarrassing, soul-crushing, everyday social blunders. You know the exact moments I'm talking about, right? Those tiny little slip-ups that keep you wide awake at 2 a.m., just replaying a 5-second interaction from like a decade ago. Well, today we're going to decode exactly why our brains react the way they do and how understanding this quirky psychology can genuinely change the way you navigate the world. Let's get into it. To start off, there are basically two kinds of people on this planet. Let's say the unthinkable happens. You accidentally let a fart slip in public. Now, person A immediately stops breathing, they avoid all eye contact, suddenly find the ceiling architecture absolutely fascinating, and literally begin mentally planning how to fake their own death and start a new life in a different country. And then there's person B. They let it happen, pause for maybe half a second, and just keep walking through Target with a huge smile like absolutely nothing occurred. No panic whatsoever. Just pure, unbothered forward motion. You know, these two totally different reactions actually reveal so much about our emotional regulation and social anxiety. Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the science of survival and why our brains panic. So you might be wondering, why on earth do our modern, highly evolved brains totally freak out over something so incredibly trivial? Well, as human beings, we are profoundly, deeply social creatures. Your brain is essentially running this 24/7 background program, constantly scanning your environment and asking one absolutely crucial question: am I being accepted or rejected? Thousands of years ago, getting excluded from your tribe wasn't just, a bummer. It literally reduced your chances of physical survival. If you were cast out, you were in extreme danger. And because of that ancient wiring, your brain still treats a modern social faux pas, like, say, a loud bodily function in a perfectly quiet room, as a mini survival emergency. Your heart rate spikes, your face totally flushes with heat, your eyes widen. This isn't just you feeling a little shy. No, this is your biology going into full-blown red alert mode because it honestly thinks you're about to be exiled from the modern tribe. In that split second, your nervous system is basically screaming this exact quote to you inside your own head. This is bad, everyone knows. It completely dramatizes the moment. It treats this minor, everyday public humiliation like an absolute, literal catastrophe. Even if logically, the rational part of you knows nobody actually cares that much, your ancient brain is absolutely convinced the village is grabbing their pitchforks. Which brings us to Section 2, the spotlight effect and psychological illusions. The main culprit for all this panic is what psychologists call the spotlight effect. Basically, this is a psychological bias where you feel like there is a giant, theatrical spotlight shining directly on you, just illuminating your mistakes for the whole world to see. You massively overestimate how much others notice your slip-ups. But you know what the truly liberating reality is? Everyone else is simply too busy worrying about their own awkward moments and their own imaginary spotlights to even focus on yours. So what about those people who, fart in public and just instantly start laughing? They're actually psychologically fascinating. Humor is quite literally the brain's absolute best defense mechanism. When something awkward happens, turning it into comedy immediately reduces the tension in the room. It beautifully and instantly changes the emotional meaning of the whole moment. Instead of signaling danger and rejection, laughter flips the script and signals safety and playfulness. Moving right along to Section 3, Secondhand Embarrassment Explained, the empathy glitch. Now, sometimes you aren't even the one making the mistake, but you still want the ground to just open up and swallow you whole. This is second-hand embarrassment. It happens when your brain automatically simulates social situations emotionally, which causes you to partially experience the awkwardness of others. I mean, have you ever watched a cringe video on the internet and it literally physically hurts to look at the screen? Your body is reacting with this intense, "Please stop talking, oh no!" Meanwhile, the actual person in the video is completely confident, thinking they are absolutely killing it. Your nervous system is literally carrying their emotional baggage for them. It's wild. So the really crucial point to take away here is that embarrassment isn't strictly logical. It's not some rational assessment of the facts. It is just aggressive social prediction. Your brain is aggressively trying to estimate what other people will think of a situation. And sometimes, it overcompensates wildly just to keep you safe from perceived judgment. Let's look at Section 4, why awkwardness is healthy and why you should care. Before you start wishing you could just surgically remove the embarrassment center of your brain, let's reframe this for a second. Have you ever wondered why, despite thousands of years of human civilization and culture, fart jokes universally work? Every single culture, every generation. It all comes down to a very specific psychological comedy formula. Surprise plus taboo equals comedy. Something completely unexpected happens in a situation where it's considered socially inappropriate, and the brain just has to release that sudden, intense tension through laughter. Think about the classic, totally silent elevator scenario. One tiny, unexpected sound transforms a boring metal box into a complete psychological war zone. Nobody knows where to look, everyone suddenly becomes deeply, intensely invested in studying the floor numbers, and someone inevitably lets out one dramatic, fake cough to try and cover up the tension. It's a perfect, real-time example of the human brain desperately trying to release social pressure. Which actually brings us to the deeper truth underneath all of this. Feeling embarrassed means you care about connection. It's actually a really beautiful thing when you think about it. It simply proves that your brain values relationships, it values acceptance, and it genuinely desires belonging. If you never ever felt embarrassed, it would honestly mean you didn't care about the people around you at all. So the goal isn't to stop feeling it. The goal is to stop letting it completely control your identity. Because remember this, nobody's entire life changed because they farted in Costco. Awkward moments are entirely, 100% temporary. The negative, catastrophic stories we attach to them, the ones we drag around for years, are usually wildly, wildly exaggerated by our own minds. So, what do you actually do the next time your soul briefly leaves your body in public? I want to give you a rapid-fire survival guide based on all this psychology we've talked about. Step 1, relax. Just breathe. Remind yourself that every single human being has embarrassing moments. You are absolutely not uniquely flawed. Step 2, drink some water. Now, I know it sounds almost too simple, right? But doing a basic, repetitive, physical action physically grounds your nervous system. It forces your brain to realize, hey, I am not in mortal danger from a saber-toothed tiger right now. I am just sitting in a meeting room and physically everything is completely fine. Step 3, blame the chair. Just give it a loud scrape against the floor, tap the leg. It's a classic, universally understood scapegoat. It injects just a tiny bit of humor into the room and signals to everyone that yes, you are totally aware of the awkwardness, but you aren't going to let it crush you. And finally, step 4, move on like an absolute legend. Confidently carry right on with whatever you were doing. Look, awkwardness is just a part of being alive, and honestly, the people who can genuinely laugh at themselves usually end up enjoying their life significantly more anyway. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought for you to take away today. True confidence isn't about being perfectly polished or never making a mistake. It really boils down to this. Can you survive awkward moments without collapsing internally afterward? The next time you slip up, remember that the spotlight isn't real, your brain is just trying to protect you, and your ability to smile through the cringe is your ultimate social superpower. Keep learning, keep